Hey guys, I'm Mihir Joshi and welcome to the very first episode of the Sneakerverse. My friends at Hype Rhino and I are very excited to bring the Sneakerverse to you because this is going to be a show which is not just about sneakers, but it's about everything to do with sneaker culture and its intersection with various other things that we all love. So whether it's music, whether it's the NBA and basketball, whether it's movies, whether it's comic books and wrestling and all sorts of interesting things that intersect with the world of sneakers. We're going to be talking about all of that in the weeks to come. We're going to be introducing you to some fantastic sneakerheads, people who've been collecting sneakers for a very, very long time, share their stories with you. We're going to get this show to be a lot about you. So if you feel that you want a show which can showcase what you've been doing, your style, your sneakers, everything that makes you a sneakerhead, we're going to be featuring that on this show as well in a special segment called the Sneakercheck. We're going to be unboxing some sneakers, but not just a regular unboxing. We're going to be getting into the sneakers, talking about the history of the sneakers, tell you why some of these amazing sneakers are so popular, and of course with Hype Rhino involved, there's got to be giveaways, so we're going to give you guys a chance to win some absolutely fantastic stuff. So without any further introductions, let's go straight into it. So we're going to be doing the news on the Instagram channel of Hype Rhino and Mihir Joshi Music, so follow us over there so that you get the latest news, because when we are putting up content on YouTube, we don't want it to be old news. The moment something interesting happens, we'll tell you about it right then and there. But let's talk about something which is not dated, which is still extremely relevant to all of us. We want to congratulate the team at Nike for releasing their incredible flagship store here at the Geodrive Mall in Mumbai. The store is fantastic. I'm going to give you a right here on screen, you can see their Instagram handle. It's rise.camp.in. Follow them on Instagram. Since they released, since the store opened up on I think the 9th of October, they've already put out the Obsidian lows, they put out Electro Orange Jordan 1s, they put out the UNC 4s, they put out the Seafoam Jordan 1s, they put out Electro Orange mids, Pollens, the first use Dunks, and they also recently put out the Michigan Dunks. So there's a whole bunch of sneakers that have already been released by the Nike store officially, giving more and more collectors a chance to go and cop these sneakers at retail, to create a community around around sneakers and around collecting sneakers, because the whole idea of standing in line, waiting with your friends, sharing stories, being the first few people to walk into the store and getting the sneakers that you love is absolutely fantastic. That's what it's been about for years and years. It may not have been the case in India, but this is what collectors abroad have been doing for so many years. So it's a great thing that a similar kind of a thing is now beginning to happen in India. I mean, it's been happening for the last few years with Veg Non-Veg and Super Cakes and Nike and Adidas stores, but it's great to see it happening in a more systematic way at the Nike store in Geodrive Mall. Are there problems? Of course there are going to be problems, there are going to be issues that people are going to be facing, but that said, I think it's a great start, and I think it's a great place for sneaker collectors to go and check out some really, really cool sneakers, whether they are the hype sneakers or just the regular great stuff that Nike has in the store. We also want to congratulate Adidas for their new store here in Mumbai, the Adidas original store in Khar on Linking Road, and the phenomenal flagship store that has opened up in Delhi. So you know what, why don't we give you a chance to see a little bit about some of these stores with pictures and videos taken by you guys. Check it out. Now, apart from what's happening in India, in Mumbai and in in Delhi. I know a lot of people from other cities have been saying when our store is going to be opening up over here. I'm sure that's the plan, because that's how it begins. It starts, now that Nike, Adidas, these brands are seeing that, hey, there is a huge culture. There are a lot of people who want to buy. They will start opening up stores all across the country. That is a guaranteed thing. But now, apart from that, let's talk about sneakers in the world of wrestling. Now, you guys know I'm a big wrestling fan. I've been a WWE commentator for over 3.5 years. And finally, after a long time, I think after WCW sort of wrapped up its operations and was bought over by WWE, finally there seems to be a company which can call itself, if not legitimate competition, but definitely competition for WWE. They're relatively new. That's the only reason I'm not saying that they are completely ready to compete with WWE, but I think they're going to get there very, very soon. But apart from the competition that's happening in the ring, with the action, there's also competition, like a sort of low-key competition that's happening between the two brands when it comes to sneakers. And a lot of WWE and AEW superstars are wearing some really, really cool sneakers. I'll give you an example of some of these. In fact, I found an Instagram handle which is perfect. It's called Wrestling and Sneakers. Their handle is up on the screen. Follow them. They make sure they find out, every week on Raw, on SmackDown, on Dynamite, on Rampage, which superstars are wearing what sneakers, and they put up pictures of that. For instance, check this out. This week, Roman Reigns was wearing, the Universal Champion was wearing the Jordan 1 Retro High Hyper Royale Smoke Grey. So, one of my favorite sneakers. I think it's a beautiful looking sneaker. And of course, the head of the table had to wear some really cool. He's been wearing consistently fantastic sneakers, so he wore that. Edge wore the Jordan 1 Red Band, the 2016 release of that. We had coincidentally enough, a similar red and black combination was worn a few days ago by CM Punk, who actually, he was wearing the band mids, not the highs. I think WWE kind of won that thing over there, right? I mean, CM Punk came wearing mids, Edge wore the highs, and CM Punk not only wore the mids, he took them off at the end of his promo and gave it to a fan who was sitting outside. It was a very cool moment, so there's that. And of course, Nick and Matt Jackson, the Young Bucks have been killing it with their sneaker game, and also Kenny Omega. So, our final photo for today is Kenny Omega wearing a sneaker, which I'm going to be getting into in detail in just a little while from now. We're going to be talking about the Pollens, which you can see sitting over there, and here's Kenny Omega wearing the Pollens. Alright, so that's, follow the Instagram handle for Wrestling and Sneakers if you're a wrestling fan and want to know what cool sneakers are being worn by superstars in AEW and WWE. But from here, it is time to get into our second segment, which is the Sneakerhead of the week, and we are kicking it off. Our very first episode, we are kicking it off with a fantastic sneakerhead right here from India. We're going to be kicking it off with he's a cricket player. He's an ex-cricket player. He's not playing cricket. He's just wearing amazing stuff. He's got a great sense of fashion right now. He's killing it with his Instagram game, with his reels, with his photos. So it gives me great pleasure to welcome our very first guest on the Sneakerverse. Say hello to Ganesh Narvekar. So it's now time for our Sneakerhead of the week. Let's kick it off. I have my guest ready, and we're going to be talking to him about a whole bunch of things, about some of the latest sneakers that have come out, but also more importantly about his journey and his sneaker journey. So welcome on the Sneakerverse, the very, very fashionable Ganesh Narvekar. Ganesh, welcome, man.
Thank you. Thanks for the kind introduction. Happy to be here.
I've been following your content on social media for quite a while now, and I think you got some of the coolest looking reels. You got some of the best photos. You got a great sense of style, and obviously you got a whole bunch of sneakers. So what got you into sneakers to begin with?
So actually, this is a couple of years ago, maybe 5 or 6 years ago, while I was on my Ranji Trophy tour. So a friend of mine was like, we as cricketers have to take care of our body, which means wearing good shoes for our sport. So that's what we were taught quite early, that you need to have the right footwear, which then enhances your game, because now footwear has gone to places which it suits your style and they have everything there for you. So while this conversation was happening, a friend of mine from the team itself was talking to me. He was like, bro, have you heard of these sneakers called Yeezys, and they're pretty cool. I'm like, no, I don't know what this is about. He's like, my uncle or somebody from the US got them, and he showed me a pair. So I was like mind blown. I was like, this is the most comfortable sneaker at the time that I had worn by far, because I tried it on feet and I was like, this is amazing, because the boost was there in it, and I didn't know much about it.
This was the Yeezy 350?
Yeah, Yeezy 350. These were the Pirate Black. So
okay, lovely.
Yeah, so like the OG Yeezy 350. So I was like mind blown, and then I asked him, where can I get it? Can I go to like some mall here and all that? He was like, no, like this is some exclusive stuff. You have to do your research if you really want to know what it is about. So then I dug into it, and once I dug into it, it just became an obsession to know. Then I got to know the backstory of Kanye West, and then his design, how he was first with Nike, then Adidas, and how he came up with this. So that's basically how my sneaker journey started.
And what was the first sneaker you landed up picking after you got into sneakers?
Yeah. So the first sneaker I got, thanks to my friend introducing me to, the Yeezy world, were these, the Zebras.
Oh, Zebras. Nice.
Yeah, so after knowing about Yeezys, it still took me 1.5 years to actually find a pair. And I copped these in India like 4-5 years back in Bangalore. Randomly, I was walking and they had just dropped at the mall. So I stood in line and I was like, Baba, just give me one pair. So these are actually like maybe one size smaller for me. So I was like, it's fine. I'll remove the insoles. And they were like, no, try them on. I said, I'll do whatever, but just give me this pair. That's what I wanted by this one.
That is awesome. So that was your first pair, a pair of Zebras, Yeezy 350s. But this kind of led me now to the rest of your journey. So we just began randomly by telling everybody that you were on your Ranji Trophy cricket tour. So tell us a little bit about before the sneaker journey began. Tell me a little bit about Ganesh Narvekar. What do you do?
So I mean, from a young age, I've been obsessed with the game. I'm a leg spinner. And it happened randomly.
Lovely.
I was just at a as kids we were just at a family event where 2-3 families were meeting and playing cricket as you do when you're young. So then my dad was like, "Chalo, go bowl." I had no idea about bowling, so I just chucked a ball and it started spinning. So my dad was like, "Are you know what you're doing?" I said, "I don't know what I'm doing." So then he was like, "Chalo." Now that he kind of encouraged me. He's the main person behind it. He was like, to go for a while, try it out, check it out. And once I started going for those coaching things, and then I was like totally obsessed with the game and everything. So that's how it started at a pretty young age. And then that obsession turned into my passion. Yeah.
That's amazing. And you're still competitively playing cricket. I mean, I know you're still very active, but are you playing for...
I haven't played for the last 2 years.
You play for Goa, right?
Yeah, I play for Goa, but I haven't played for the last 2 years. The pandemic happened, and then, the matches the domestic matches kept getting rescheduled, except for the T20 tournament. So that took a step back. And then at this stage of my life, I had to take a decision whether, to focus primarily on cricket or to use whatever I had built up through my cricket in something else. So then I started a yacht business of mine in Goa. And that also kicked off pretty well the last 2 years. So I'm pretty focused on that right now, but yeah, we'll see.
That is cool, man. That is a great transition from cricket into a business, and again, it keeps you active. It keeps you in great sneakers. Like I said, the reason I discovered you is because of your fantastic content. So let's talk about that content. I know some of your reels have become super popular. Some of your photos have really caught on. So when was that moment in the Sneakerverse, as in the sneaker space, where you felt like, oh man, I'm getting some traction here. There's a lot of interest in what I'm wearing. There's a lot of interest in my reels, in my content that I'm picking up. What was that first sort of aha moment for you on Instagram?
I think around 2 years ago, when just a month or two before the pandemic, because I was totally busy with cricket at the time. So I didn't have time for content creation. I used to just post pictures of sneakers which I liked, which I had with me. And then it was a very casual thing. It wasn't like, much effort going behind it. But then the pandemic hit and I was stuck at home. And I was like, chalo, I am at home. I'm with the sneakers I love. Plus, this is the best time for me to experiment when it comes to content creation and fashion, because I'm into it anyway. So I'm into style, I'm into fashion, but I never did it seriously. So I thought this is a good opportunity for me to just keep pushing content and enjoying it. I actually didn't really expect much traction or any. I was just doing it for the love of what I had with me. So it started pushing off from there, and then I started getting some good traction. And that's when I realized that chalo, the community in India itself was growing, because I remember two years ago, you could easily buy Air Jordan 1s at Veg, Non-Veg and at Super Kicks. There were so many just sitting. People were not, really pushing for them. And I used to walk in store and try them and buy them. It was like some pairs like the Bloodline and Shadows, sometimes they were just sitting. And then once the pandemic happened, like people totally got into, I saw a huge boost in this culture, which is great for us.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic. I'm completely with you on this. I think that the lockdown has inadvertently fueled sneaker culture in our country. And a big shout out to Veg Non-Veg and Super Kicks for being the OGs, man, for making a space where kids can actually go and see the sneakers and not just look up at their photos online and pick them up. But let's do one more thing before we move ahead. There's a reel of yours which like really went viral, right? You spoke about that recently. You did I think you did a remix of that reel with yourself or something like that, if I remember seeing right. Let's do one thing. Before I ask him about some of the sneakers that we spoke about in the first segment where I told you about some of the new sneakers that have come out, I'm going to ask him about that. Let's check out this awesome reel by Ganesh. And before we get into that, hey, let's give a shout out to your Instagram handle. Tell everybody what your Instagram handle is.
So my Instagram handle is @Ganesh Narvekar. So follow there for super sneaker content and proper hype content when it comes to fashion and sneakerheads. It's perfect for y'all, and it's pretty funny and relatable too. So head over there.
And I'll just show you how awesome it is. Check out this reel.
Oh, if I could ever go without watermelon sugar. Hi, baby, do you wanna be mine?
Hey, welcome back. Did you enjoy that reel? If you've not seen that reel already, go on Instagram, follow him, show him some more love, make this reel reach a lot more views. Like it's already crossed 1 million views. Let's take it even further. Now, by the way, the sneakers that we saw in the reel, come on, let's have a look at them in real life as well. I know you're sitting with them. There you go. The Supreme Dunks.
Yeah, the Supreme Dunks in the blue colorway. Blue is my favorite color, so I had to get these. And I was thinking when these came out, why in India do we get the GR versions? Because the resale market is so big here. People are spending so much money. We deserve a few good drops from Nike, because Adidas has been doing it for a while. But we deserve a few good rare Off-White drops or some Supreme drops in India, because I'm sure the sales are quite high. So that was the whole thinking behind it. I was like, I really wish this.
But you know what? You've inadvertently done something really, really cool for sneaker collectors here in India. I think people are going to take it very seriously. Brands in the next few years, I've been talking about this for a very long time. The moment the brands see that, there is a huge market, there are people clamoring for these shoes, they're going to be saying like, okay, we got to make it available in India because it's going to sell out instantly. So, hey man, keep making more such content. Keep getting these sneakers from wherever you are getting them. Make content around them and let the brands know ki bhai, main to leke aaya hu, but what about everybody else? A lot more people want to pick these sneakers up. So make sure you keep making more great content. Acha, before we go into our final segment for this, when I'm going to ask you about some of the sneakers that have come out recently, what you feel about them, did you cop them, did you not? Let's talk about one more important sneaker from your collection. Pick up one, tell us a little bit about it, some story behind it.
I'd say these are my dream sneakers. One of my dream sneakers, which I was really fortunate to get. So these are the Air Yeezy Blinks.
Yeah.
So, the Air Yeezy Tans, not Blinks. So I have the Blinks behind, but these are the Air Yeezy Tans, so net Tans. And these just go on every outfit. These are so old, but I wear them a lot. And they are super comfortable, just iconic, and they glow in the dark as well. And they've held up so well for such an old shoe. I wish I could show you more details, but it's absolutely perfectly in a super condition. So
man, that is awesome.
Very iconic for me.
That is fantastic. What would you say about a retro of the Air Yeezys that happened at Nike? The stuff that it came it got sold out, and now it's at astronomical prices, like the Red October and everything. It's like crazy prices, and there have been all these rumors, there have been these stories floating around saying that, hey, maybe Nike might be open to working with Kanye again, doing like a retro of those sneakers, because people are really, really dying to get their hands on it. It's not that easy to get them. I'm sure it was not easy for you to find these either.
I had a bit of luck. Actually, I've met so many wonderful people in the resale game in India itself. These all of my sneakers are, I would say 80% I've got them from resellers here itself. So nice. And they also have have had a good relationship with me, and I've also encountered some genuine people who are not only chasing profit, they also they value relationships. So it was kind of a task, but it was like worth everything. I feel Nike and Adidas can't work together because it will complicate their whole situation behind the hype train. I think it will, and especially because Kanye is now with Adidas, I think that they may definitely have some legal issues to solve.
Hey, he wore Nike socks on his Yeezys, man. It's kind of opening the door, it's like opening that forbidden door where maybe there's a possibility that something might happen.
He's been wearing more Nike than most of the Nike influencers. He keeps wearing it. In fact, he tweeted also saying that I would love to retro my old stuff with Nike and everything, and he's fully into it. But I would love for that to happen, because I think the best shoe of all time is Red Octobers. For me, it is the best shoe of all time, undefeated.
So it's a beautiful shoe indeed. It is a fantastic shoe. Listen, let's go back to where I started off this episode today. I talked about some of the new sneakers that have come out. I want your thoughts on it quickly. Just a yes, no. Will you cop it or will you drop it? All right. The Pollens, Air Jordan 1 Pollens.
Big cop.
Did you get it, by the way? Were you able to pick it up?
I do have the pair. Yeah.
I do have the pair. Man. For me, like you said, your favorite color is blue, my favorite color is yellow. I wanted the Pollens the day it was announced. Like I saw the first time when it was announced, there was like a little cross-section photo. From that day, it was in my heart that if there's one shoe that I'm going to get this year, it's going to be that, and super, super happy about that.
For me,
the Lightning Force.
For me, I feel the best color blocking on an Air Jordan 1 is when they have the black and the other color. Like, that's how I prefer it. I prefer it like the classic, the OG way, not the bread where there's a white stripe and all. No, I like it when there's black and the other colors. For me, it hits a lot more. That the colors are quite bright then. So
I'm with you on it. So you cop the Pollens.
I saw that you copped at 2 places for retail. That's amazing.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you, like the universe conspired. Like, yaar, ye banda itne samay se baat kar raha hai. He wants this shoe. Let's give it to him. My first W on sneakers. I have never won anything on sneakers. My first raffle win with veg non-veg. I got both of them.
That's just nuts.
Sitting right here.
The universe wanting you to have it badly.
Exactly. And I intend on keeping both. I'm going to keep one dead stock, and like when I have really worn out one, that's when I'm going to wear the second one. So super happy that I have both of them. All right, awesome. The Lightning 4.
No, I've
Lightning
dropped
4, Lightning 4.
No, that's a drop.
You've dropped that.
I dropped that because I have the Off-White Jordan 4s, the creams. So it's too when you have, I didn't feel like getting another pair of Air Jordan 4s, because I was like, first let me wear. So that's my thinking behind.
Totally fair.
It's a pretty colorway, though.
It is a sick colorway. What about the Yeezy slides? Do you have a pair of slides already in your collection?
Yeah, I do. I have 2.
Which one do you have?
I have the resin and suit.
What did you think about the glow green one that just dropped?
I was very excited because I thought they glow. But then I realized that the colorway is based on the glow. So then I wasn't, really, because it's similar to resin. So it's like hardly any different to that.
Foam runners, cop or drop in general, not just the new Ocker one that came out.
I would say big cop, and it may surprise people, but I feel for me it is one of the sneaker of the years for sure, because I just think that the comfort on it is mind-blowing. Like, you can just wear them all day and your feet don't get tired, and it's different, it's out there, so I kind of like it.
Final question, your favorite collaboration of the year so far? There have been some fantastic collaborations that we've seen. We've seen the Travis we've seen the Sakai fragment ones, we've seen a whole bunch of collaborations that have come out already, and a lot more that have been announced for the rest of the year. What's your favorite?
I would say the Travis fragment ones, the highs for me.
The highs, nice.
Like, contrary to popular belief, because a lot of people love the lows, but I love the highs. And as I said before, like, blue is my favorite color. So plus it has the fragment OG blue on it. Plus it has Travis Scott. It has, like, it's a nuts collaboration. It's like a triple collaboration, which nobody saw coming, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's never happened in the sneaker industry at such a high hype level. And it had blue in it. Correct. So I had to just, go for it. I have my pair on the way. And I remember...
Oh, sweet.
I remember at the time people were telling me, no bro, go for the lows, like, highs are not going to have any value, this, that. But I just went on my gut. I'm like, if I like that shoe better, then it is what it is. And I got
very cool, man.
Pretty good deal for it. And now it's like 3-4 times more than, like, now it's shot up like crazy, the highs. Yeah.
That's fantastic. I'm really happy you got the blue. I know you love blue so much. I'm glad that you got to add one more awesome sneaker to your collection. Before we wrap up for today, give a recommendation to people who are watching right now. Tell us about maybe 3 Instagram handles, as in maybe 3 people or 3 handles that you follow on a regular basis to keep, because you like the kind of content that they make in the sneaker space.
So I would say there are a couple of people. I would say from one of the girls, I would say, which is very important, I feel, because a lot of guys are in the sneaker culture, but a lot of girls are popping up now, which is fantastic, because it gets the sneaker culture into a totally different zone where even female artists collaborate, and that's amazing. So I would say one of them would be Ahana Sharma. She's from India. And,
of course, I know her.
And another one, I would say internationally, would be Kai Somar, because I used to watch his blogs, and I still do, and that's what got me into, like, this whole thing of finding out about Michael Jordan, the history and everything. So yeah, nice. I would say them two for me are, like, good handles to follow. And I would say I would also shout out actually a reseller, which I've had a very, very good deal with, and I've always had a very cordial relationship, and that's called Big Boy Kicks. So that's the Instagram handle of him himself. So they are based in Bombay, and they are very polite, fantastic, and always there for you. So I would say with the 2 influencers, I'll shout out a reseller as well, because people give a lot of hate to the resale community, but it is part of the hype, I believe. So you have to accept it, and
it is, man.
Try to do what you can. Yeah.
I agree. And one celebrity that you really, really love for their sneaker game. It could be an actor, it could be a sports person, it could be a basketball player, whatever. Who is one celebrity who you think has a great sneaker game?
I would say Ranbir Kapoor has the best sneaker game in India. I would say by far. He is always, and before it was like, something which caught people's eyes in India, he was always repping. Even I remember in that Ae Dil Hai Mushkil and all those movies, he was repping 750s, he was repping like all sorts of hype, and he's always dripping. He has the Travis Scotts, and all his airport looks I follow because of that. I'm like, this guy knows his style, cool. And he knows his sneakers. So yeah.
100%, man. 100%. You know what? This is the coolest thing about being a sneakerhead. The moment you get into sneakers, your eyes travel from the face down to the feet, and then you'll start seeing movies, and you'll start, like, for me, I'm a wrestling fan. I watch wrestling, and I say, oh man, he's wearing a Jordan 1 today. Oh, he's wearing a Jordan 4 today. So cool. So that is really, really cool. And Ganesh, thank you so much for sharing not just a little bit about your journey, but about everything that has to do with sneakers. Before before we say bye for today, you want to say something to all the people who've been following you for your sneaker content?
I mean, I'd say thank you so much, because every bit of encouragement, it does help to put out content. And also through the sneaker industry, I've got to meet so many fantastic people, go for so many lovely events, and it's a pretty, I would say, comparatively to the size of our country, a small community, but it's quite a tight-knit community. So shout out to everyone involved in that, and people who support the Instagram and everything. It's awesome, because that motivates us to put out good content as well. So yeah, I'd say that's the best.
That's awesome, my friend. Thank you so much, Ganesh. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Hey, keep getting more great sneakers. Keep putting out more great content. That's pretty much it. That is our Sneakerhead of the week, the very fabulous Ganesh Narvekar.
Thank you, Ganesh, for being here with us on the very first episode of the Sneakerverse. We're going to have some phenomenal guests in the weeks to follow. In fact, I'm going to give you some breaking news right now. On episode 2 of the Sneakerverse, we are going to have the absolutely phenomenal Tony D2 Wild. That is him on Instagram. Follow him on Instagram and check out his YouTube content if you've not already checked it out. And next week, you're going to get to hear me and watch me chat with Tony D2 Wild. Time now to get into the space that I told you where you get to be a part of the show. We want this show to be the most socially interactive show, and that can only happen if you can make it happen. And what we need for you to do is, whenever you put up a nice picture wearing great sneakers or some really cool streetwear, use the hashtag the Sneakerverse, tag Hype Rhino and tag Mihir Joshi Music on Instagram. We'll pick up the photos that you guys tag. We'll also share it on Instagram, but more importantly, we'll feature the 5 best photos or reels or videos of the week from Instagram right here on the Sneakerverse. And for our very first episode, we've got some bangers. Check out these first 5 people on Sneakercheck. So that was the sneaker check, and time now to get into Time Machine, where we get into some of the best sneakers that are out there, new sneakers that have come out, but also sort of the historical significance of those sneakers. And I think the sneaker that kind of kicked off sneaker culture as we know it, one of the most important sneakers in the history of sneakers, is the Air Jordan 1. Of course, in 1986 when it first released, it was the band colorway, the Chicago colorway, which was like super duper popular, and people still want those colorways for sure. But they've been releasing a ton of retros ever since the first sneaker was released over 36 years ago, and people are still as excited, as hyped about the Air Jordan 1s today as they were back then. In fact, I think the hype right now is even more, and everybody wants to have Air Jordan 1s in their collection. And of all the Air Jordan 1s that were released this year, the moment this sneaker was announced, I was like, oh my god, I have to have this as a part of my collection. I love yellow, as you can evidently see, and I thought I need to get this in my collection. And I was super lucky. I've never won anything on Nike sneakers. I got my first W with these sneakers on Nike sneakers, and coincidentally at around the same time I also applied for the veg non-veg raffle, and I got my second pair. So I have 2 Pollens, and I intend to keep both of them because this is going to be one of my future dead stock pairs, so that once I've used one pair, which is the one in this box, and it's kind of gotten all dirty, and it's got a lot of creases and this and that, maybe a few years down the line I can open up this fresh pair and have another brand new pair of the Pollens to wear. So here we go. This is the iconic Air Jordan 1 silhouette, but in the Pollen colorway, which is this beautiful yellow and black colorway. This is a very, very good quality shoe. Everybody's been talking about the fact that it's come out in quite a large amount of numbers, so everybody's been able to get their hands on it. But I think that's a fantastic thing. If you're able to get this sneaker at retail, there's nothing like it, because the quality is fantastic. The black leather is great, the yellow leather is great everywhere, all around the shoe. The leather quality is fantastic. It comes with 2 extra laces, white and black, and it already has yellow laces, which is what I have actually put on my sneaker. I think, of course, the amazing yellow outsole with this incredible traction is one of the most attractive parts of the sneaker for me as well, because I know we don't really get to see it much because we walk on it, but when I have the sneaker fresh like this and I look at it and I see this beautiful yellow outsole, I'm like, wow, this is just a work of art. So everything about this sneaker is great. If you want to know more about the history of Air Jordan 1, how it came about, how did Michael Jordan become a Nike endorsee, and how did the journey begin, here's a couple of things that I would recommend for you guys to check out. One is, of course, the Last Dance documentary on Netflix. Highly recommended. That's actually what sort of got me back into sneakers, or made me fall in love with sneakers, and my journey of collecting sneakers began. And I'm going to give a shout out to another another YouTube channel out there called Nacho Average Finds. They've done a ton of history videos on Air Jordan 1s. And in the description down below, I'm going to give you a link to the video that they've done on the Air Jordan 1. Check it out, you'll learn a lot more. And that's the one way to sort of grow your knowledge about sneakers. And here on the Sneakerverse, we are happy to give credit and lead you to other pages as well, because we believe that the more you learn, the more you'll want to come back. We'll make this the place from where we'll tell you where to go, but definitely come back, because we're going to have a lot more interesting things related to sneakers on the Sneakerverse. Now listen, the unboxing of the Pollens done. It is time for me to announce the giveaway, and we promised you that we're going to do a big one for the very first episode, and it can't get any bigger than this, guys and girls. You're going to get a chance to win the Air Jordan 1 Pollen highs. And to find out how you can win, go and follow Mihir Joshi Music and Hype Rhino on Instagram. I'm going to be putting up a video which tells you how you can win these Pollens on my Instagram. Do everything that you need to do over there on Instagram. We'll pick a winner by a random picker, which will be done live on the Hype Rhino Instagram handle, and somebody gets to go home with these sneakers. And you know what, we're going to declare the winner once the channel has 1,000 subscribers. And you know what, that's not going to be a very difficult thing to achieve, because if you're watching this video, subscribe to the channel, hit like and share this video with all of your friends, and if they love sneakers as well and they subscribe, we'll reach 1,000 subscribers very, very soon, and one of you is going to go home with these sneakers. Of course, every week we'll continue to have other contests as well, but this specific contest, our first episode contest, we'll declare the winners once we reach 1,000 subscribers, and you guys can make that happen for us. Remember, next week we've got Tony D2 Wild. Use the hashtag the Sneakerverse for all your sneaker related photos on Instagram, reels, photos, whatever else on Instagram. Tag Hype Rhino, tag Mihir Joshi Music, and that's pretty much all the time we have for now. I'm Mihir Joshi Music, and on behalf of my friends at Hype Rhino, I want to say you guys have a great week ahead, and I'll see you next week in the Sneakerverse.